This is WWE Wrestling Legend Hall of Famer Tito Santana.
This is WWE NXT Superstar Lexis King.
And you are listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Arriba!
And you're listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Long live Lexis King.
You're looking at the best there
Austin
is.
316.
What do you guys want to talk about? I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
We will rest
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back for episode 37 of the Source WWE AEW All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
And
Mike. Yeah, and we are back for another Battle Royal Open Discussion episode right before Backlash, right before WWE Backlash in France.
I've been in the lab concocting the best questions I could come up with for this one.
And we have good ones here. We have good ones. We're going to be discussing some Uncle Howdy, some Bloodline predictions, a little bit of Judgment Day talk. We're going to talk about the Mad Dragon, Ilya Dragunov. Will he go to Imperium? We got to throw some AEW in there, so we're going to talk about Tony Khan versus the EVPs. We're going to dive into that a little bit. We're going to hit you with some Backlash predictions, seeing as Backlash is today. It is happening today, live in the Eastern time zone at 1 p.m., and we will end this episode with some MJF updates, which are very sad, very needed MJF updates right now. So it's the Battle Royal episode of the Source Wrestling Podcast. Let's get into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we have the Battle Royale.
Yeah.
And here we are. So Uncle Howdy discussion. So I don't know if you've been following it as long and closely as we have.
Yeah, lots of QR codes, lots of hidden encryptions.
Hidden QR codes that have been popping up and glitching. There's been creepy music before and in commercial breaks and before
video
shows
packages,
and things like that.
everything.
It seems like what we've gathered so far is the facts. You can literally go on X if you'd like.
You can check this most recent one out.
There's
a lot of people decoding these too, and it's helping because sometimes you're like, well, man, where do I start with these QR codes? What do I type into these randomly generated things, names, numbers? It's all very difficult sometimes.
Yeah, what we've gathered so far is that it seems that Eric Rowan will be involved. He was in one of the videos. Officially
signed, too, to the WWE.
We all know Uncle Howdy is going to be part of this somehow.
Yes, absolutely. Bray's successor, Bray's brother, his blood, has to be.
And it seems Alexa Bliss has been hinted around in these videos as well.
Yes. If you stop at a certain frame, you can see her real quick. And she's post-pregnancy. She's been gone a long time. She should be ready soon. So it's interesting that they could throw her back into this for sure.
Yeah. So far, we've seen a lot of different images. It's been heavily teased that maybe, a lot of broken stuff. So we might see broken Matt Hardy.
Yeah, he was once still with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I don't know if he's holding on for it. I had suspected that Braun Strowman would be in this group, but him debuting and having a look that doesn't seem to fit this.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, he still has that monster of all monsters look.
We're seeing a lot of rumors today, though. A lot of people think they have decoded it in the last video.
Yes,
they think they have decoded who's going to be in the Wyatt 6 from a little message that had a certain code in it.
Yes.
The code, it goes a little bit like this. In one of the creepy, mysterious messages, there was a code in it. It went UEDN J51A.
And that 5 is, the 5 and the 1 are important for a reason, too.
Why don't you say that reason?
The 5 and the 1, 5 plus 1, is 6, and it's the Wyatt 6. This new version that we may be seeing of the Wyatt family, and that was Bray's that was Bray's vision. It was the Wyatt Six, and it never got to happen for
Now,
him.
with Alexa Bliss, Eric Rowan, and Uncle Howdy, us saying our predictions were Braun Strowman and Matt Hardy.
Yes.
If they weren't going to be involved, Matt Hardy and Braun Strowman,
Who else could
this
it be?
prediction might be in fact true. With those letters I just spent, you could say the first letter was a U, Uncle Howdy.
Yes.
The next letter was an E, confirmed member Eric Rowan.
Yep, red beard.
The next letter was a D, and they're thinking Dexter Loomis,
Which is interesting. He fits the bill
yeah.
kind of in that creepy way, and it's very, very possible. He's been off TV for a long time. He always had that creepy stalker type gimmick where he didn't really say much. I think it could be a good fit and maybe a breath of fresh air and a resurgence for Dexter Loomis, who they didn't really know what to do with in the Vince era. That was the last time he was seen.
And now we have N, and N could be standing for Nikki Cross, they're saying.
Yes.
And that would be a deep, deep story build because she's been standing ominously in the background
She has
of things
for quite a while now.
Maybe she just started early with it. I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe
But,
they just planted that seed
maybe
just because
really
they knew she
cool.
had that spookiness to her or that
Yeah.
crazy unhinged character. So that's interesting.
And then there's a J, and they're thinking maybe Joe Gacy with how
Which
crazy
would
he's
be
been
a
acting.
perfect fit.
He'd be a great fit in this equation.
Call him up, get him in the Wyatt Six.
Yeah, and then 5 + 1 = 6, Wyatt
Yeah.
6, and then A comes next for Alexa
Alexa.
Bliss.
Yes, Little Miss Bliss, Twisted Bliss, who did some of probably her best work in WWE as the twisted version of herself with Bray Wyatt in the Firefly Funhouse era.
Yeah, that was extreme.
Yes.
Extremely good. Honestly, it was some of her best acting I've seen.
100%.
So yeah, that's kind of how it's gone so far for this predictions. I think we're in line with it. I feel like the lineup I just listed seems unbelievable. I don't think I'd believe it. I'm not sure.
It's
it'd be
it's
cool.
kind of sporadic, but
I don't know
a
if
lot
Joe
of it
Gacy's
makes
gonna
sense.
get involved in this, and Dexter Loomis. That's what really throws me off.
Right,
Those two
right,
members
exactly.
there.
This is all speculation, guys.
yeah.
With the Battle Royal episodes, the chains are off. We throw the scripts in the trash, and we just kind of shoot from the hip. We see what the dirt sheets are saying. We say what we feel, and for the old Uncle Howdy Wyatt Six situation, that's where we're at, guys.
Yep. Now, Bloodline predictions is next.
Yes.
I want to know if we were to have a civil war, which is shaping up to be very obviously
It
some kind
sure
of civil
is.
war going on here.
Yes.
Who will be on Jey Uso's side? Because I'm naming him as the one side.
Oh, yeah.
And who will be on Solo's side of it when
Right.
it comes to fruition?
Yeah, I would say-
that's how I'd say
Goodness.
I'd steer this question.
Yeah, I agree. On Jey Uso's side, you gotta think, guys like Randy Orton and KO could be on that side. They have had their issues with the bloodline, especially KO as of late with Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa. That RKO quote unquote team that we've been calling them could really be a big part of this bloodline civil war that could be happening, and they could have Jey Uso's back. But what about Sami Zayn, who has a lot of bloodline history as well, and KO's his bud, so he could get involved there as well. We do not know that for sure. But I feel like it's going to be a Bloodline 2.0 type deal down the line when, the tribal chief returns. So, it could go many different ways.
Yeah. So I see it this way. I think that we're going to see Zilla and Jacob Fatu coming into the WWE personally.
Yes, they are signed is what we're seeing.
The best way you can break all these wrestlers in is to have a Civil War bloodline thing going
Yes.
on. I think that this is the perfect time, in my opinion, to bring back Roman Reigns as a face. I think that it's kind of going to come down to Rock with, and I don't even know if this is this year because I think this might.
There's still a lot of story to be
honestly,
told.
Survivor Series comes after SummerSlam, right?
Survivor Series it's one of the later of the year PLEs for sure.
Yeah, or Elimination Chamber, or what are we doing these days?
Elimination Chamber is before Mania. We just had that before Mania. So if they extend it that long, that means it can go into a Mania run.
Survivor Series is the War Games.
Yeah.
So
That would be the perfect match for them.
Exactly. So if you could have Cody versus The Rock at SummerSlam.
Oh yeah.
And then you could have the Survivor Series matchup be Captain Roman Reigns coming back after
Right.
that. Maybe he comes and does something in the match with Cody to
Very well could.
yeah. And then from there, you would have Team Captain Roman, Team Captain The Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock has Solo under him. He has Tonga under him. And
Absolutely.
He has, also will have one of the Fatu brothers,
Yeah,
Zilla
either
or Jonathan.
Yeah, or
And
Jacob.
then
Or
on the other
Yes.
side of it, you have Team Captain Roman. And he's got Jey Uso with him.
Yeah, the good
He's
bloodline,
got Jimmy
you know.
Uso with
He's
him.
got
who
the
comes
wise
back,
man in
and
his
they
corner.
have Zilla or Jonathan, one of the two.
Yeah, exactly.
That splits it perfectly.
And now-
and then it's that would be really epic.
It would be. And now, but what if, Backlash is live at 1 p.m. and there is a tag team match, guys, between Bloodline members Tama Tonga and
There's probably
Solo
a good chance that
Sikoa.
we're going to see one of those new Bloodline
Yeah.
members tonight.
That's what I'm saying.
Or tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah, it's today.
Tonight, yeah, today.
It's today.
Sorry.
We are going to see a match between Randy Orton and Kevin Owens as a tag team versus Bloodline members Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa. So who's to say that these Fatu boys do not get involved here today at Backlash? It is possible.
Yeah, so that should pretty much wrap up our Bloodline prediction.
Absolutely. We'll have to let it all play out and see how it goes,
Yeah, we got some Judgment Day talk next. We've been watching the
man.
layers fold like peels to the banana coming down
Literally.
one at a time. And it seems to me that Damian Priest is feeling like a lone wolf these
He
days.
is.
He's made it very vocally clear.
Yep.
We've seen Dominic Mysterio backstage with Liv Morgan on 2 different occasions now.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Something's obviously going on there. And what do you think, Joe?
It's like you said, it's been made very clear by Damian Priest as of late, especially since capturing the World Heavyweight Championship, that he wants to go into business for himself. He wants to do things on his own. He doesn't need the Judgment Day's help because honestly, lately they're not helping. All they're doing is stacking losses, getting in the way, and I see Damian Priest kind of maybe gravitating away from the Judgment Day in the next coming weeks and maybe even months. He has a big match today going up against Jey Uso defending the title. The Judgment Day may get involved and mess this up for him. They may not. He did say clearly he wants to finish his business and handle it himself at Backlash by himself. So that makes you wonder if the Judgment Day is going to try to get involved just to say, oh, we still tried to help you, man. Jey Uso had you beat. I see Damian Priest maybe moving away from the Judgment Day. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I also see Damian Priest holding on to the title because I do feel like they're trying to see how much of a run they can get out of it, which is sorry and sucky that it has to be at Jay's expense because it really is looking that way.
He's so over, too.
Yeah, it's if he doesn't win the title, it's like crazy.
Back of the line, in my opinion. Back of the line for main event Jey Uso. If he does not pull this off today at WWE Backlash live from France,
put him back into consideration for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, he came close
on Raw, and then LA Knight can still go for that U.S. title.
He sure can.
I really want him to wear that title.
We need that. We need that, man.
Be really cool.
He had a big win at WrestleMania. Finally gets his WrestleMania moment against the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, a legend in his own right. LA Knight just, he's continuing that search for gold. And I think he gets it in 2024. Mm-hmm. I think he does.
I think, it seems that, Liv Morgan and Dominic may do something weird.
They got something going on.
Finn Balor has been rumored to maybe be factioning up with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, they were part of the Bullet Club. Finn Balor himself was a Bullet Club member.
All the members for it
now.
And they could really build that back, and that could be a storyline where Cody's faction takes Tonga back because he was part of Bullet Club as well.
Exactly. And I could
cool.
definitely see that happening, especially if we get a heel Cody, down the line.
They are rumoring that as well.
Yes, they are. And I don't know if you guys watched AEW or any other promotion where Cody has done some heel work. He can be a very good heel, guys. Just saying.
Yeah, it could be really explode his career.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the judgment talk for the day.
For sure.
We'll go to my next question, and that's will Ilya Dragunov go to Imperium, which seems like the most obvious fit. He's now been drafted to Raw. It seems like a lock that he's going to be somewhat involved with them. What do you think, Joe?
And here's the thing. If you go back to Ilya's early NXT days, you go back to Gunther's early NXT days as Walter, these two guys had banger rivalry going for the NXT UK Championship, which was held by Walter, now known as Gunther, and they both took each other.
Who was still a force, even though he was pretty fat.
Absolutely, yeah. The body transformation is night and day, but he was still a force as Walter. That's what he was, and he still wrestled the same. You know, he can just move a little even better now. But I say the two of them, you know, having the rivalry that they've had, they both respect each other. Vinci is out of the picture now. Clearly, I said it as soon as it happened that before Dragunov even got drafted, I'm going to say, watch, you know, he's going to get drafted to Raw. He's going to go to Imperium, and then how do you stop Imperium if they have the Ring General Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and now the Mad Dragon, Ilya Dragunov? There is no weak link in that faction, in my opinion. Vinci was the weakest link. He is now gone. I really do see Dragunov joining forces and becoming a new Imperium member. I really do.
I can see it. It's a good fit. The look matches.
Technical wrestling.
Like now that they've gotten rid of Giovanni Vinci, adding Dragunov would make them a lot more feared because, you know, Kaiser has been a very volatile guy who does seem to have a pretty intense mean streak.
He's got that mean streak. He's got the moves. He's got the look.
Ilya could be a force to be reckoned with here. That could be part of, you know, Gunther's world title run that's looming and could be happening as soon as I can see that happening.
We know it's happening.
For Mania next year, Gunther takes the title for Mania. With, you know, and has his faction with him and all that.
And has a hell of a run with it too, I would say.
Yeah, so I'd say it's believable. I'm saying it's a lock. You heard it here on the Source Podcast.
Yeah. So we have Ilya Dragunov going into Imperium, and that's about enough on that subject. What do we got up next on the docket?
Next up, we have the whole scenario between Tony Khan and the EVPs.
Yes.
Obviously, they beat him up on, you know,
on Dynamite. They took him out, put him in that tombstone, the Meltzer driver.
He appeared on the Jaguars draft
with the neck brace.
Yes, first time ever we brought wrestling into the NFL.
Yes, pretty crazy.
What do you think the point of this is?
I think the point of this is to create a new story. It kind of harks back to the Attitude Era. It's kind of, you know, obviously everything's been done before.
Yeah, I do remember Vince McMahon in a neck brace.
Yeah, it reminds me of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon. You know, boss versus employee. You know, everyone wants to beat up their boss. You know, I think that Tony Khan thinks this would be good for ratings. He was once quoted saying he would never be a gimmick. You know, this place is about wrestling, and here he is. He's a gimmick. Yep. You know. There's many different ways.
You do what you can when you're losing so much money that Daddy must be mad.
Yep. Empty.
You lose so much money that Daddy's making appearances.
Yeah, Daddy's making appearances. Shad Khan himself is making appearances, so that's telling you something. They have not had the same viewership that they've had since the All In footage. So once again, CM Punk was helping them in the ratings there. Since then, the ratings have not surpassed that, so they had to come up with something new. You know, it's kind of like a whole, like a DX takeover, in my opinion. You know, the EVPs are taking over the show now. They run the show. Tony Khan's on the sidelines.
Yeah, I remember they specifically said that in their clause, it's very, very hard to fire them.
Yep.
So it's going to be very hard in their clauses to fire them.
Exactly.
And, by the way, you know, it says in our clauses as well that while Tony Khan is away, this is our show to run.
It is, and they changed the whole video package.
Am I safe to say that did they call their Gorilla position? Goat
It's
position?
the go position. Yes,
Go.
they did. It's
Go
the go.
I thought it was
Yep.
goat.
No,
Okay.
it's the go position.
That's kinda
Ready to
lame.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they can't call it Gorilla. WWE has the rights and trademarks to the name Gorilla Monsoon, who they named the position after, because that's where Monsoon would be. That was his station, and out of respect for his legacy and everything he's done for the business, it was changed to the Gorilla position and dubbed, rather, the Gorilla position. So, yeah, this whole EVP versus Tony Khan thing, it's a ratings grab. They needed some kind of news story in this quote-unquote new era of AEW that they keep claiming it is. WWE's got the new era thing going on. They need to move away from that.
What are you doing?
But has it been entertaining? I say yes. To see Tony Khan take the Spike Tombstone was pretty cool. Jack Perry coming back and living in his glory now. He's part of this new elite with Okada, the Rainmaker, the Continental Champion, with the Young Bucks, the AEW World Undisputed Tag Team Champions. I really don't see how far they can go with this, though, unless it's just going to be an all-out controlling of AEW by the new elite. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah. I think that's a perfect way to wrap it right there on that subject.
Yeah.
We can go through the Backlash card. We can say who our predictions are for each match now.
Backlash predictions.
And it looks like I'm on the CBS Sports website.
Yes.
To get the whole card. And we're going to start from the bottom up.
Started from the bottom, now we hear.
Randy Orton and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga.
Yes, sir.
Who do you take in this match and why, and what do you see happening?
Okay, this tag team match, it is Tama Tonga's first official match in the WWE, so we will get to see him showcase his abilities and what he is able to do on a pay-per-view, a premium live event. And I say for Backlash, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton have the match won, and then we get some kind of new member like we were just talking about. We get the Jacob Fatu or Zika Fatu, whatever it may be. I think there's some kind of another new Bloodline member here that's going to ruin this for the team RKO. And Solo and Tama Tonga come out victorious at Backlash. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'd say the same, and I think that's only because this RKO versus Bloodline story is just beginning.
Absolutely.
If RKO wins, that really doesn't set up anything for the future. I don't know if it's going to be interference, but I think the Bloodline wins this no matter what.
Yeah.
I think that
they need to look
there's
strong.
a very high probability that what you said is going to come true, and we're going to see a new member come out tonight, or today, or this afternoon, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, wherever you're listening.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the prediction for that one. We got the Bloodline members going over here.
That's right. And the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship will be next up.
I'm excited for this one.
The Kabuki Warriors versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill.
What do you think, Mike?
I think that Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill win, and I think it's a necessity. I don't think you can have Jade Cargill lose anything right now.
No.
That would kill momentum for her big time.
Yes. That's where I'm at with it, too.
Unless there's something up Damage Control's sleeve. That's always a possibility.
Yes, that is possible.
New member coming up for them, or something, or some twist. You know
Dakota
what I mean?
Kai gets involved, costs them the championships.
Yeah.
But
I'd really like to see Bianca
like
and Jade Cargill be championships. I'm viewing this myself in my heart and soul, thinking of this as
me too.
Hey, WWE is not buying the Kabuki Warriors run. It's not doing much for the company.
Right.
I think this needs to happen at this pay-per-view
and it's
for
not
them.
and it's not doing much for those championships. We need two credible championship holders, and I think the EST, Bianca Belair, and the Storm Jade Cargill are the perfect pair
because then
for these titles.
It's going to take a really amazing tag team to beat them for the titles if they get it.
Absolutely.
Which sets
Who's
up
beating
a
them?
really interesting women's tag team championship division.
Yep. They could go on a whole run with these belts.
Yeah.
I really want it to happen that way. Our prediction is that Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are your new women's WWE tag team champions at Backlash, brothers.
Correct. That is correct. Next up, we have the women's championship match. Bayley defending her title versus both Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. And
Yes.
Bayley's been a workhorse. She
has.
defended against Naomi, and now she has to defend against them both, which means that she does not have to be pinned to lose this title.
Yes.
Where do you see this going?
Hot take: Tiffy Time wins the title at Backlash with the prettiest moonsault ever. That's where I'm at. Bayley, you got your WrestleMania moment. You got your winning of the championship at WrestleMania, but it's Tiffy time. Check your watches, guys. She's hot right now, and she's on a roll. She's undefeated in singles competition. I think she continues that and becomes our new champion.
Nice. I think it's too soon to end Bayley's run right now.
And it may be.
I think
this
that
is just
title,
me wanting it to be Tiffy time all the time. Yeah.
I think that title is waiting for Jade eventually. I don't see how, maybe by WrestleMania, Jade wins it at WrestleMania. Kind of like how Cody carried the titles until he became champion.
Yes.
I could see that kind of going on here to pop this a little bit. But
absolutely.
I'd see Bayley retaining this one. I think it's too soon. But it'd be really cool to see
never
Tiffany
know.
Stratton get the title. I would think that's cool.
How much heat would she get if she just wins that title clean?
Yeah.
My
gut says Bayley retains this one.
And it's a strong possibility. I just want to step out of the box and say, hey, what if it's Tiffy time?
It could be. I just feel like this match keeps her relevant. Keeps her in a match with legit superstars. Keeps
totally
her popping.
does. Maybe she comes this close, maybe she comes this close, hits that moonsault, and then, something doesn't go her way, and someone else gets the pin, and she's like, oh, she didn't technically get pinned. Yeah. I think if she loses this match, she does not get pinned, and either way, she's still going to be undefeated in singles competition.
I can see Naomi and Bayley doing the whole thing where they beat up Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, and then it's a fight to the death. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. Now we have a World Heavyweight Championship match. The newly crowned World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest with his first title defense, right?
Yep. All rise for the first title defense of Damian Priest.
It's against Jey Uso, who really should win this match. But I do also think this is too soon.
Too soon. Yeah. I feel like they really want to carry that on to the Clash at the Castle.
Yeah, I think the Intercontinental Championship
might suit him better.
Is going to be.
I think it'll fall into his hands soon.
This one will, unfortunately, again.
Absolutely.
Damian Priest is my lock choice. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go Priest. He gets it done with the South of Heaven choke slam. He hits the razor's edge. I think that's where it's at. Jey Uso does come close, I'd say. I don't think there's interference in this match. I think it's clean. It's kept clean. And Damian Priest is just the better wrestler. And still, you're a World Heavyweight Champion today at Backlash, Damian Priest.
Finally, we have the undisputed WWE Championship.
Oh, yeah.
Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles. I mean, come on, guys. It's Cody's winning the match. You don't go through all that.
This is his first title defense against the phenomenal one.
And then lose to AJ Styles.
Yeah, you can't
it's cool.
do that.
I get it. It's an easy layup for the WWE. It's an easy first,
first title defense.
Well, is it his first title defense?
It is. I believe this is his first title defense. He has had matches before this against Melo and but this is the first title defense. He's putting that strap on the line.
I'd say he defends it. It's a lock. Cody walks with the
Cody
championship.
Leaves with the title.
This
couple of crossroads. No, it's done.
It's dead.
Yep.
I think it's cool. It's easy for the WWE because
Absolutely.
there's a lot to it. They're both the only ones to have the two titles from the two different wrestling federations.
And what I've seen lately is that for the past few world champions, whether it be the World Heavyweight Champion, whether it be the Undisputed Champion, a lot of people have defended that title first against AJ Styles because he is a guy who can go out there and have a good match with absolutely fucking anybody and have it mean something. It's two Georgia boys. It's the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, our undisputed WWE Champion, walking out of Backlash is our prediction as the WWE Champion.
I love it. And now, to wrap it up, we're just going to give you our weekly MJF news.
We got to do it, man, because he's better than you, and you know it.
Yeah, he was actually caught mocking Brock Lesnar amidst misconduct allegations. He's been a little
he was
silence breaker lately.
It was at that convention where he met Brock Lesnar guy, who is a social media figure, and he called him Piss Fetish Guy. So that is a shot at Brock Lesnar for sure
Yeah, he
from
does not
MJF.
seem to care.
Nope.
He was seen at that event recently with the AEW logo behind him.
Yeah. So
it
what's that
seems
tell
like
you?
all roads are pointing towards AEW here. Unfortunately, I say again.
Yes, because we know that Mike really wants him to show up in WWE, and so do I. But AEW needs Maxwell Jacob Friedman right now.
What
they
I'm
need
hearing
MJF.
is that his injury is not coming along the way they
No,
wanted to.
they
There might
tried
be
to
some
rehab it.
setbacks. And here's what it tells me. I got a whole timeline for you right from the brain, okay?
Absolutely.
I think that there was a bidding war. I do think that
was a
after
real
he
thing.
was released, he was taking off everything because Tony Khan didn't know if he was coming back or not.
Yeah, right. Is he
They
going to
needed
make
to
the
see
big bucks?
first how the injuries were looking. Bidding time happened once the injuries were revealed and what the timetables looked like.
Yeah.
I think the WWE looked at him, said, you know what? AEW, because what is AEW going to sign him for? What do they sign? 3-year deals, 2-year deals?
I'm not sure. I think everybody's different right
it's
now.
under 5 years, and I think in 5 years MJF could be a big star in the WWF.
Of course
when the
he
WWF,
can.
I see
For a
WWF.
very long
the
time.
WWE really needs it then because some stars have retired. You probably don't have
Yeah.
Orton anymore. You probably
Yeah.
don't have a few.
Yeah. Maybe not
Cody's
even
older
AJ
then.
Styles,
Cody's almost 45 at that point. That
And
might
who
be
better
the time
than
to bring
Cody's
in MJF.
protege?
Yeah,
Who
that
better?
Might be the time to bring in MJF. Hey, you can just save your money as WWE right now. Let AEW develop MJF even more.
Yeah.
And then take him when he's even hotter. So
And they've
WWF
done a great
probably
job
said, you
with
know
him.
what, AEW? They probably bidded him up. But the fact is, AEW is the only one that wants to take a chance on an injured MJF who
Yes.
possibly could keep setting back and never come back.
Yeah,
for all
right.
you know. But they'll spend the money, so they
it's
probably
so true.
locked him up, and they're probably just hiding him right now, and he's probably injured.
The facts are this. The facts are that he tried rehabbing the shoulder.
Yep.
The rehab was unsuccessful. The facts are this. He had surgery recently on this shoulder. He was seen at this convention with his arm in a sling, doing the meet and greets and all that. That is a fact. It is also a fact that Maxwell Jacob Friedman showed up in Boston at Big Business backstage to talk big business with TK himself, Tony Khan, man. And did he sign? Did he not? That's what we do not know. All signs are pointing towards an AEW return for Maxwell Jacob Friedman, but as of right now, there is no timetable for that return due to this bump in the road, this injury, and it is not getting better. So, we hope the surgery takes care of that and that we see MJF on TV as soon as possible because the wrestling world needs the devil.
Mm-hmm. Certainly does. And it'd be a great real devil comeback to see him just
Yes.
mess up. Because, let's get real. I think it's official now. Is Adam Cole's faction doing anything?
I mean, no, not really. The biggest thing they had recently was that Adam Cole stood up at Dynasty out of the wheelchair. He's able to walk again. You have Nick Strong, Roderick Strong now going up against Will Ospreay for that international championship, which obviously he's going to lose that to Will Ospreay. So that means less credibility for the Undisputed Kingdom. It is not looking good for those guys. That is for sure. And that is going to end this Battle Royal Open discussion with the Backlash predictions, everything else going on. We hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. But before we leave the studio, we are going to give you a little bit more of On This Day in Wrestling History. Let's talk to him, Mike.
On this day in wrestling history, we have our notable wrestling birthdays. First up is DeMac in 1987, better known by his ring name DeMac. His real name was Mac Yabo. German professional wrestler, best known for his work with West Side Extreme Wrestling. So
happy
leads
wrestling
me to
birthday.
Wonder maybe why they listed him, because sometimes they list some people and I'm like,
Yeah,
what is
why
going
are
on?
they even notable? Yeah, I totally get that. Up next, we have Brad Maddox, 1984. And the thing about Brad Maddox, guys, is he was a WWE employee for quite some time. Backstage guy, referee. He wrestled a little bit, and a lot of
Under
people...
his own name.
Under his own name, Brad Maddox. And also, he was in a pornographic video with Xavier Woods and Paige, and it was not a good look for him. He was dating Paige / Saraya for a very, very long time, and they had some videos of their own. But yeah, that video, man, I'm really, really surprised that they let Xavier Woods come back on TV after that.
Me too. Next up, we have James Roca, better known as his name Jim Steele. Born in 1967, is an American retired professional wrestler known for his appearance with All Japan Pro Wrestling and World Championship Wrestling, WCW, under the written names Jim Steele and Wolf Hockfield.
Interesting. Happy wrestling birthday to you, Jim Steele. And lastly, we have a good one. We have happy wrestling birthday to one of the greatest managers to ever do it, Mr. Fuji, 1934.
Actor as well.
Yes, absolutely.
His real name was Harry Masayoshi Fujiwara. Master Fuji, he was also known as, to his proteges. He was famous for often throwing salt in the eyes of fan-favorite wrestlers.
Did it a lot with Yokozuna.
Notable tag teams managed by him were Don Morocco, and wrestlers and tag teams, but Don Morocco, Yokozuna, and Demolition.
Yes, yeah, we can't forget about Demolition, Axe and Smash. He also managed them. And on this day in wrestling history, 5/4/1998, Fit Finlay defeated Booker T on an episode of WCW Monday Nitro to win the WCW World Television title, the fifth time in 5 days that title had changed hands, and it happened on this day in wrestling history.
Wow, and on this day in wrestling history, we had WWF Insurrection held at Wembley Arena.
Yes, Wembley Stadium. It was Wembley Stadium. That's where they just had All In.
Yeah, Wembley Arena back then, apparently, in London, England, in front of 10,500 fans. This was the last pay-per-view held under the WWF name.
Before the rebrand, yes.
We saw Rob Van Dam defeat Eddie Guerrero by disqualification in a WWF Intercontinental Championship match.
Yes.
Meaning Eddie kept the title. Trish Stratus and Jacqueline defeated Molly Holly and Jazz. X-Pac defeated Bradshaw following interference from Scott Hall.
Hey, yo.
Booker T defeated Steven Richards to win the WWF Hardcore Championship. Then Crash Holly won it from Booker T. Booker T won it back from Holly. But then Holly lost it to the original champion of the night, Steven Richards.
Yes. Missed that title.
The Hardy Boys defeated Brock Lesnar and Sean Stasiak, with Stasiak getting pinned. Interesting.
Yeah.
Spike Dudley defeated William Regal to retain his WWF European Championship. Stone Cold Steve Austin defeated The Big Show with Flair acting as the special enforcer.
What?
And Triple H defeated The Undertaker with the pedigree and pin. I might have to go watch that.
Boom. Yeah, that sounds like a banger. I remember the Insurrection pay-per-view. I think they only did it one time, and it's crazy that was the last one in the F era, if you will. And on this day in wrestling history, 2010, at a TNA Impact taping in Orlando, Florida, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, the bad guy, defeated the Blueprint, Matt Morgan, in a handicap match to become the new TNA World Tag Team Champions. It happened, guys, on this day in wrestling history.
Another long one in 2014 on this day in wrestling history. WWE presented Extreme Rules on the Izod Center in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Yes.
In front of 15,907 fans.
What a show.
Cesaro defeated Jack Swagger and Rob Van Dam.
Claudio
in
Castagnoli now.
Triple threat elimination match.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Rusev,
who is now Miro in AEW.
Oh, wow. Defeated R-Truth and Xavier Woods in a 2-on-1 handicap match.
Interesting.
Rusev forced R-Truth to submit to the Accolade. Bad News Barrett defeated Big E to win the WWE Intercontinental Championship.
Yes, Bad News.
The Shield, we know those members.
Oh, we love them.
Evolution, we know those members.
Yeah, that was a hell of a match right there. Shield versus Evolution.
Yep. Hit Batista with the Superman punch, followed by the spear for the win. Classic.
Oh, next one was good.
Bray Wyatt defeated John Cena in a steel cage match. During the match, Cena attempted to escape through the door, but the arena lights went off. When they came back on, a demonic child appeared singing "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands," distracting Cena. Wyatt then hit the Sister Abigail on Cena, escaped through the door, to win this match.
Yes, and I'd like to note, guys, the kid was actually Brody Lee's son.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Paige defeated Tamina
Snuka, yep.
by
Daughter
submission.
of Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Retained the WWE Divas World Championship. That's what it was called back
Yes,
then.
it was the Divas Championship. Don't miss that.
Daniel Bryan defeated Kane.
Ooh.
Crazy. In an Extreme Rules match to retain the WWE World Heavyweight Championships.
And
What a
that all
card.
happened on this day in wrestling history. And I got one more for you guys. And on this day in wrestling history, 2018, Tessa Blanchard defeated Chelsea Green at the PCW Ultra May the 4th show in California to win the PCW Ultra Women's Championship. And that happened on this day in wrestling history, guys. We're excited for Backlash. We will see what happens. Thanks for listening to the show. And once again, you are listening to The Source, WWE, AEW, All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
And
Mike.
yeah.
And we want to let you know we are available on Spotify, on YouTube, on Facebook, on iHeartRadio, on Amazon Music, X, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. We're there, brother. And until we eat again,
Let us talk to ya.
let us talk to you.
Share it.
Share it. Do the thing.
Follow it. Do all the things.
Yes.
If you like the show, tell your friend you like the show so he likes the show
Right.
too, maybe. You never know.
Exactly. Tell your friend, they'll tell their friend, maybe they'll tell their friend. You know
We
what
can
I mean?
all be friends.
We can all be friends here. And as the Macho Man would say, yeah, freak out.